What happens if the elite level of motorsport decides to join the most extreme challenging track in the world with 132 entered cars, extreme multi-class conditions, and our black Falcon team Fanatec right in the middle? We have encountered the Red Bull car previously last year on track, and luckily we got to witness the first start of what I think will go down into Nürburgring history. Hello friends of the automotive four-wheeled companions, we're here at the Nürburgring. Today a very special day because a very special guest from Formula 1 is here, which I think is gonna change everything for this place. And this place and these series are not just history for drivers, it's history for automotive in itself. Car culture all over the world is inspired by what teams built here to compete. A track that is almost always open for track day fans, and a whole ecosystem of one of the biggest names in automotive and garages. Legends have shaped and raced this track for decades and will live in motorsports history forever. And with this track offering you almost everything a track can offer you, it's the birthplace and testing ground for almost every sports car that is being produced, which goes hand in hand with the tough competition that goes down here on track. Take the BMW GT3 Touring for example. It's there to show what's possible. And just like automotive is trying to prove a point, drivers all around the world want to challenge this legendary track as well. And in this case, no other than Max Verstappen, the 4 times Formula 1 world champion and the world's most famous sim racer and ambassador for sim racing. The GT3 field has increased in size, which means competition this year is not the same as last year. There is an exact of, I think, 26 cars on the grid now compared to last year, where it was just 11. So quite the big grid. And I kinda... There he was! The grid in SP9 has more than doubled for this race compared to NLS9 from last year, which means the build-up to the 24-hour race will be more intense. Although this NLS race was hardly anticipated, the outcomes of the race were quite shocking. And this competition, this challenge, is what sparks inspiration in cars and motorsport builds. Yeah, it's the love and home for automotive from around the whole world. Now, you have people in America, the US, everywhere inspired by what's going on here.
This track is hands down the best track in the world.
Yeah.
So of course we do have a lot of good tracks in the US,
Yeah.
But nobody can contest that this is the best track in the world. So we figured we needed to come here and experience it ourselves.
We have some of the craziest builds here, and I know you guys are into cars just as much as I am, and this is the home for that, right? And next to the ambitious drivers and a competition on the Nürburgring, that has spawned an ecosystem of garages, builders, and car parts producers that are legendary. Manthey, Schirmer, Vulcan Alpha, and so many places where you can turn a car to a full track car, and right next to the ring. And places all over the world take inspiration from this. Even when I was in Asia, the German motorsport inspiration was always present, from DTM to ring tool builds, being at the other side of the world. And just like how the Japanese and Asians are proud of their cars and culture, we should be as well. Our culture is only classified as a culture because it splits into so many different cultural influences from different continents. You can prefer one over the other, but only all of them create the full picture. And most of it spawns from the motorsport, and in this case, the one and only legendary Nürburgring. But today there is a very, very special guest, which is Max Verstappen. Now, it gotten this serious and it gotten this respected that even Formula 1 drivers, right, the elite, the top of the whole motorsport, decide to come here and challenge the Nürburgring. And yeah, that's what we love. Us, sim racers, us touring drivers and motorsport fans, we love to see something like this. But yeah guys, I'd say let's have a walk around. We're here with the guys from Black Falcon. This thing is amazing. I think this is exactly what the Nürburgring needed. The exposure it deserved by a driver that is purely focused on the joy of racing, inspired by lapping it with mates on iRacing, and the joy of driving a car fast around the track without all of the vanity and money, but purely out of love for racing cars. So Verstappen just put the car on pole by 2 seconds. Now, I'm not quite sure who's here of the professionals. I can already see the whole talk like, oh yeah, but this guy and that guy is not here, but I think he's clearly setting a message. I have to say it in German, ist sich einfach nicht zu fein, um nach hier zu kommen und das ganze Ding dann auch noch zu machen. Das ist halt einfach krass. Yeah, our car is getting ready. Car's on track in a bit, so you have the qualifying, the practice is on Fridays, and don't crash out Verstappen. Imagine the headlines. Yo, what the hell is this? Look, Ralph over there. And after spotting the second Fury here on the Nürburgring this year, I was as shocked as when I heard the news that Misha, Jimmy, Steve and Manu were moving up to Porsche Cup, which I talked about in the last video. A huge statement for sim racing, and the car is in the alternative fuel class, however, which is insanely difficult to explain, and I leave that to the professional drivers to explain in detail. But the car is still in a competing cup field.
I mean, I haven't been out there yet, but it is a lot warmer than it was last week, let's put it that way. The car's getting better and better and better. So Manny's just gone out, he's done an 8:18 with lots of traffic, which I think is a really good lap. So we're up there.
It's so amazing!
Everything is so accessible, right? Here. Way more than on other tracks.
It is. That's why Max is here, because at F1 you need to pay 5 billion to stand 5 kilometers away from.
Yeah, you heard it yourself. But that's exactly the cool thing. Like, we can be here around the cars, look at the cars, touch the cars. It's something else. And if you have ever planned to come here, just get a ticket. It's 25 euro-ish and you can walk on the grid, be in the pits, meet the drivers perhaps. It's a very relatable and reachable motorsport experience compared to many other motorsport events. And after the grid walk, it was finally time for history to be made. Verstappen was able to get on pole, however, he'd have to deal with some great battles with Christopher Haase in the Audi R8 for the battle for P1. And if you watch the broadcast, which I highly recommend you do, you will see some intense bumper-to-bumper racing. Exactly what I personally hoped for, that he was gonna have some great competition for this year and not just sit on P1 for the entirety of the race like it's common for the winning car in F1, so that finally people who never had their eyes on GT racing would get to see this as well on this track. And with these drivers, it will offer some great racing, and I can't wait till the 24-hour race starts and we will see the likes of Kevin Astre, Guven and so many other famous names step into the ring to go for the same trophy. So I did not expect Verstappen to be in P2, but that means, like I said, that they're not just gonna hand it to him, right? He's gonna have to fight for it, and even here. And that's great to see, because otherwise everyone would have said, oh yeah, but you know, it's a 10,000 iRating person in a 4,000 iRating lobby, but no, he has to fight for it. So, what does that mean for the Nürburgring? I think more and more people will now realize what a gem of a place all of it together is. From the racing series to the track days to tourist drives to the culture around the ring, it will have an influx in fans joining in, more support of the NLS, and more importantly, more exposure to what I think is one of the greatest racing in the whole world. There are similarities to sim racing, something Verstappen supports as well, which is pretty much a niche thing to do and for whatever reason still fairly undiscovered. But what is needed is for there to be a broader audience to be reached and to make it more attractive for new people to join in. Because if those don't come, any niche, any series, any hobby we love will suffer from it. And yes, there is gatekeeping and elitism, but it has no place in a hobby or a niche or a place like this that should be shared. It's better to keep what we love going for the next generation than be closed-minded and lose it altogether at some point. It's really important for us to keep in mind that the next generation will be taking care of what we love so dearly. Everything went fine, everyone came home, the car is parked over there, and yeah. So I think this will definitely change a lot, not just for the Nürburgring, but I think for GT racing in a whole. It opens up this door for so many new people who usually maybe just watched F1 and now get a glimpse at what door-to-door racing in GT racing is. And I think that's great, because this sport needs more eyes on it, because it's great, right? And even if it's a great racing series, it means that it comes with rules. And since Verstappen had a few tires too much, sadly he was disqualified from the race, which means his P1 is taken away, but that means he will come back stronger next time. I can't wait to see what's gonna happen throughout the season. We will be here, and I hope you guys stick around as well. It's a crazy journey, and I'm really thankful to be part of it. So yeah, until next video, bye bye.